Hi, I am Anna. I come from www.ntvforex.com. Asian stocks later pair losses as Nasdaq FUTs reversed decline analysis. http ntvforex.com news ID 183,018 2025 43:52 am Asia market update. Equity markets opened lower after US losses. US equity FUTs were volatile in early Asia. AstraZeneca SADRs decline over 8% on vaccine study news. Asian stocks later pair losses as Nasdaq FUTs reversed decline. General trend. Hang Seng Tech Index drops over 1.5%. IT and consumer firms were among the early decliners in Shanghai. Australia Energy Index declines over 4.5%. Financials drop over 2.5%. SoftBank Group declines over 4%. Extends losses. Taiwan semiconductor companies and South Korea AS Hynix track losses in the US. The new US sanctions on Hawaii are due to take effect on September 15. Tuesday. South Korean press headlines. Economic data. Australia New Zealand ASX 200 opened 0.5%. Australia September Westpac consumer confidence 93.8 v 79.5 prior 18.0% v 9.5% prior. Notes. Slowing of coronavirus cases in Victoria. Australia July home loans value 8.9% v 2.0% investment lending 3.5% v 8.7% prior. Reserve Bank of Australia RBA offers for buy a $2.0 in bonds due April 2023 and 2024. Victoria State Australia reports 76 additional coronavirus cases v 55 prior 11 additional deaths. NZ New Zealand September prelim ANZ business confidence 26.0 v 41.8 prior activity outlook 9.9 v 17.5 prior. NZ New Zealand Q2 manufacturing activity QQ 11.9% v 0.0% prior. Manufacturing activity volume 12.2% v 1.7% prior. NZ New Zealand FinMin Robertson ruling Labour Party pledges 39% tax rate for incomes. GT NZ $180k year. Top 2% of earners. The current top personal income tax rate is 33%. Labour Party tax policy. NZ New Zealand ANZ heavy truck cometer 6.5% v 2.7% prior. NZ New Zealand 2-year swap rate turns negative for first time amid expectations for negative official cash rate OCR in NZ 2023 bond yield moves below 0%. NZ Reserve Bank of New Zealand RBNZ buys NZ $480m v NZ $430m prior in government bonds as part of QEV. NZ $480m saw China Hong Kong Hang Seng opened 1.3%. Shanghai Composite 1.1%. CN China Bok Open Market Operation. OMO injects 120 billion Chinese yuan in 7-day reverse repos. Net inject 100 billion Chinese yuan v net inject 100 billion Chinese yuan prior. CN China AUG CPI 0.4% v 0.6% prior. YY 2.4% v 2.4% EPPI YY 2.0% v 1.9% E6th straight decline. CN China PBOC sets yuan reference rate 6.8423 v 6.8364 prior. CN China AUG passenger vehicle sales at 1.73 MPCA Industry Association released on September 8. China Everbright Bank 6818.HK receives approval to sell 40 billion Chinese yuan in bonds in capital bonds. CN China tech company leadership including former execs at Hawaii and SMIC reported to launch a domestic replacement fund due to the U.S. sanctions affecting the supply chains for companies. China Press. CN China Ministry of Finance MOFOG local government net issuance 920.8 billion Chinese yuan v 272.2 billion Chinese yuan. MMCN China Finance Ministry MOF sells 2-year and 5-year bonds. Japan Nikkei 225 opened 1.3%. JP Japan AUG M2 money supply YY 8.6% v 7.9% prior. M3 money supply YY 7.1% v 6.3% prior. AUG deposits YY 15.3%. Fastest increase on record. SBI Holdings 8473.jp reported to withdraw from Hong Kong market. Reason not initially disclosed. Japan Press. Korea KOSPI 1.2% KR. South Korea AUG unemployment rate 3.2% v 4.2% EKR. South Korea FinMin AUG jobs survey taken before social distancing measures were tightened. September jobs data will include social Distancing measures. KR memory chipmakers in South Korea are expected to be impacted by the additional U.S. sanctions on Hawaii. Sanctions are due to take effect next week, cites industry sources. Yonhap Samsung and LG to stop smartphone panel supply to Hawaii. Unclear if the move is related to U.S. sanctions. Press. KR South Korea to issue USD and euro-denominated bonds. 10-year U.S. dollar bond has initial pricing guidance of 90 bps. Treasuries. KR South Korea government to submit a fourth extra budget to Parliament this week. Press. KR South Korea Vice Finmin confirms to announce emergency stimulus measures this week. Fourth extra budget will intervene in bond market if bond yield volatility rises. KR South Korea confirms 156 additional coronavirus cases v 136 prior, 3 additional deaths. Other Asia. My Malaysia politician former PM Mahathir posts a call to propose a no-confidence vote against PM Muhyiddin. Philippines Central Bank BSP amends rules to add BSP bills and bonds to hold weekly auctions. For BSP Securities TW China Global Times editor-in-chief Hu Zijin. Based on what I know, China will sanction senior U.S. officials who visit Taiwan, and American companies which they have ties with. They will never be allowed to enter Chinese mainland, and U.S. companies they have ties with will also lose Chinese mainland market. North America. U.S. Senate leader McConnell. GOP has tried to break the logjam over coronavirus aid talks. Plan to vote on the GOP aid bill this week. Press. U.S. Democratic leaders. Senate leader McConnell's coronavirus bill is emaciated and is not going anywhere. U.S. President Trump could announce a move to deny retroactive biofuel waivers sought by refiners as soon as this week. The article suggests the move might be driven by politics. Upcoming elections. Press. U.S. President Trump to announce further troop withdrawals from Iraq and Afghanistan in the next few days. Administration official. Watford Holdings WTRE investor group led by Arch Capital makes a $500 million $26 share bid for Watford. The composition of the offer was not immediately disclosed. Financial Press. Europe. AstraZeneca AZN.UK late-stage studies of AstraZeneca's COVID-19 vaccine candidate are on temporary hold, while the company investigates if a report of a patient with a serious side effect is linked to the shot. Sabadell SAB.es reported to be considering options due to consolidation in Spanish banking sector. Press. Levels as of 1:20 ET. Nikkei 225, 1%, ASX 200 2.2%, Hang Seng 0.6%, Shanghai Composite 0.9%, Kospi 0.6%, Equity S&P 500 Futures 0.5%, Nasdaq 100 1.2%, DAX 0.6%, FTSE 100 0.1%, 1.1782 euros, 1.1757 Japanese yen, 106.05, 105 Australian dollars and 83 cents, 0.7229, 0.7191 NZD, 0.6627, 0.6601 Gold 0.3% at $1,937 ounce. Crude oil 0.5% at $36.58 BRL. Copper 0.5% at $3.0335 pound. Subscribe our channel to receive the news as soon as possible. Thank you for watching. If you want to read real-time news, text messages to MT5 Expert Advisors page at https://m.me mt5.expert.advisors.